Welcome to another daily recap. Today is Wednesday, March 27. It's 8:52 a.m. Market opens at 9:30 Eastern, so we have less than 40 minutes. So the powers that be in the pre-market have pushed price up to regain what they lost toward the end of the trading session yesterday. There's 22 points or so. So they fought 518.50, that area, and they are currently at 521.21 at 8:52 a.m. And like yesterday, all the levels that have been identified to trade against in the E-mini futures will be treated conservatively. Trading reduced position sizes, probably scaling in maximum of 2 contracts at each level. Anything can happen, and I just want to be aware of sharp moves. So that is my approach today. After the market closes, we will look at this again, this chart, and analyze all the trades taken in the E-mini futures based off of these levels. See you then. And just like that, the market has closed. It's almost 6 o'clock. So the spiders behaved a little differently than I expected, but what I expected was just my emotions. You may notice the thumbnail is Curb Your Emotions, and I'll explain that momentarily. I just had an idea of what might happen and kind of ignored rules. There were no rules to dictate that I shouldn't have jumped out of a trade, and I did, and I missed the opportunity. But there were 2 trades. The spiders hit 3 levels. The first here, they were nice enough to be under 521.60, 521.55 with the operating level, triggered a short trade, rode that one down, considered actually trailing it, but only had 2 contracts. And so I just sold 2 or bought 2 back at the base hit profit target, went long at 520 and jumped out too early. And I'll explain that a little bit more when we get to it. And when they got to the last level, of course, these levels are out of consideration for the rest of the day at this point, and you can see that 520 was the important level. They didn't have a lot of volume, just kind of went sideways and not a lot of action until the end of the day, and they went up, what is this, over 30 points in the last 20 or 30, 40 minutes or so. So when they hit 523.09, it was well toward the close of the regular session. I'm not entering that trade at all. Let's take a look at the live trades for today. So when I enter the trigger to sell at 521.55, you'll see the short position get put in the system, or the trade is active at that point. So I'm just short 2 contracts looking for 4 points, and didn't take very long for that to get that base hit to get handed over. And they continued lower. There was a point where I considered just buying back 1 contract and trailing the other, because really what I had in my mind from the beginning of the day is they're gonna be weak and they're gonna fall, and maybe even all the way back down to the 518.50 area. You notice the level 518.85. Anyway, as I was talking, you just saw that got satisfied. So that was the first base hit. So they fell down to 520.05, and there was an order in the system to buy as soon as. By the way, before I get too far off track, I'm hovering here at this point. This is roughly where I would be basically in the money if I had sold. I keep saying sell. If I had bought back 1 contract, and there we go, then I'd be in the money trailing it, and that would have worked out. But I didn't trail it. Anyway, so here we go. Second trade, triggered, long 2. And let me just, I'll just pause this to say a few things here. So you notice that I have the 40 cents in the SPY, roughly equivalent to 4 points in the E-minis, and the fumble threshold down here. At this point, I'm just thinking about yesterday. My mind's kind of going, well, they're going to probably go lower, and I'm thinking about how far it is from 520 down to 518.85. Didn't really want to ride that down there. Felt pretty confident about this level still being good support, but there was nothing on any of my other charts or indicators to give me any idea that this wouldn't be a perfectly acceptable place for reaction. All I'm looking for is 4 points here, but I'm just thinking about this, kind of let my emotions get in the way. So as you see here, at one point, I even decided to bring my base hit down to 3 points. So you'll see that $400 turned to $300. Just brought it down a point. And they got up close and, just let my emotions get the better of me. And when they came back down, I just basically closed right when they got close to the entry point right there. So I think I took maybe a tick or 3, more than a tick, like a half a point or so. So that was it. And then I hovered at you see it hovering the E-minis at 552.80, roughly where 4 points would have been. It's actually a little high, you'll see. Just kind of say, well, if I'd stayed in, would this have worked? Like I said, at this point, I'm fully expecting them to go lower. Market doesn't always do what you expect. They were stronger today. They ended up going sideways and building up enough energy to go quite a bit higher. As you saw toward the end of the day, they gained 30 points. So that little spike here would have given the 4 points. I looked at this later with the actual number, and never even got down close to the fumble threshold the entire day. So I'll just scrub ahead here. You can see they would have given the trade a couple times during this day, during the morning, and was really no danger at all. And then they finally got enough energy to go quite a bit higher. And I just let this go through the end of the day. There's the post-market data, just kind of turn that on to see. But so they're knocking on the all-time highs again, pretty close. I think, what is it, 524.11 from last week. That's the highest we have so far in the spiders. And in the weekly, the daily, they were still very strong. And I may have misspoke yesterday. We only have one more trading day of the week. Tomorrow is the last trading day of the week because Friday is a holiday, Good Friday. So, and it's the last day of the month, last trading day of the month. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. They are, quite a bit above 518.50. We may start looking at the monthly chart to see if we can get any clues from there. But I think there's going to be some battles tomorrow, or at least leading into next week and the beginning of April. Maybe could be a correction. I keep saying a correction. I don't really care long term all that much because I'm just looking for these levels to give me base hits every day, which they do. But I'm just kind of curious to, kind of speculate on where they're going in the midterm, in the near term. So let's take a look at the tracking log. So I just want to point out what I'm doing here. So the column in level E was a base hit. That was the first one, the short. And when it came down into 520, column D, it would have been a base hit. I'm coloring it this way, just per the legend. But I'm being honest here. I jumped out too early, didn't take it. I'm only counting 4 points today. Per the rules, this would have worked. Like I said, there was nothing on any other charts that gave any clues that this might not work out. So really shouldn't have jumped out. I just let my emotions get the better of me on that. And then the last level was almost right at 4 o'clock. It wasn't triggered because it was after our cutoff. So just counting 4 points for today, just to be fair, because that's all I got. 4 points and actually maybe 5 total. I got a little bit on that last when I jumped out. But anyway, so you saw the trades, and maybe the lesson to take away here is don't let your emotions get in front of the process, because the process works 78.42% of the time. So anyway, hope you found this interesting and helpful. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.